2, 1, go.
Hi everyone, welcome back to RIPDebt23 2023 on Meteor Speedruns running in support of RIP Medical Debt. My name is Atitri and I am here with a runner who loves bunnies, loves pianos, I think, and also loves Love 3, the very talented Charbunny. Charbunny, I understand you're going to be doing an any percent with a little bit of bonus at the end. Is that right?
I am doing an 80% run. The piano's one's a deep cut, but I appreciate that you know the lore there. Yes, hello everyone. My name is Charbunny. Super excited to be running Love 3 for you today. I am going to be running any percent. I apologize, there was some confusion with the incentive, but in order to make it up to everyone, I am going to do level 25 again after the conclusion of the run and do it the 100% way so you can see exactly how it's supposed to be done, versus maybe some of the shenanigans we're gonna get up to at any percent. Before we get started, let's actually check how to play this game. You know, it's been a while, maybe I should learn this, but this is really just to explain the mechanics because once we dive in, we're gonna be going fast. So the first thing is I can run back and forth, look at me here. I can jump, wow, fantastic. And the key thing that differentiates this game from other platformers is that I can actually set my own checkpoints. So you can see this little sort of ghost, that's gonna be where I respond to if I die. For example, if I were to jump into a pit of spikes, which is what the game literally tells me to do there, by the way. I can also jump into this pit where I'm not dead, but I'm kind of soft locked, right? I can't get out. The good news is I can always use a button to specifically death warp back to my last checkpoint. Now, if I really get stuck, let's say I drop down here and then put my checkpoint in so my death warp doesn't go anywhere, I can actually hit one special button to reset to the start of the level. That will be used exactly once in the run, but it's very fun, so I wanted to get that ahead of time. Most of the things that are white in this game are going to be deadly, except for these little trampolines. These little triangles here will give us upward momentum, or whatever momentum direction they're facing, which can be a little bit tricky. There is a slow-mo feature. It's banned for speedrunning, but also it's not fast, so we don't use it anyway. So there we go. Everyone good to go? No questions? Ready? Okay.
And now that you've showed us how to play, I can show you the results of your incentive. Which is that our character, absolutely, our character will be wearing a hat.
Yes.
And they will also be wearing a non-binary pride flag.
Yay! All right, I think that's 6, 5, 6. There we go! Non-binary pride, let's go everyone. Thank you so much for all the donations for that and for all your donations throughout the marathon. Please make sure to get more donations in. Every donation was what, like $100 of medical debt? That's 100 times impact is so dang cool. All right, we do get our hat, which is fantastic. I'll talk more about some of those things later, but with that, I think we're ready to get started. I am going to restart instead of starting from the main screen, and that's because secretly, this background is actually level 1, and you can see more of it if you're on this menu than you can on the main menu. So I restart from here so I can see all of the screen ready to go. So with that, I'll go ahead and give a countdown. We'll begin the run in 3, 2, 1, go! All right, so here we go, already off to the races, jumping, checkpointing, all of the things like that. You'll notice I'm wearing my hat, I got my flag going, so I'm looking awfully fine today. Our character's name is 5'8". The name is 5'8" because the character is 5 pixels wide by 8 pixels tall, which is just kind of a fun fact. I did not realize that for the longest time, but there you go. First level already done. Each of the levels kind of has its own little mini mechanic and its own background color. So this one we switch from red to blue, which is nice because it matches our hat, very appropriate. And then this level we have these gears that move back and forth across the screen. We mostly just have to jump over them. They're one of the easier obstacles to sort of dodge. Here though, I need to activate that moving platform to let it move into a position where I can cross the gap. We've already done that, we're already fine. Now, even though this is oh no, this is any percent, so we are going to be doing some interesting skipping here. So the first thing is I need to get this key. That little thing off to the left, that's a key that opens the door that I need to proceed. I'm supposed to get another key here, but it turns out I don't have to do that if I just sort of jump into the ceiling the right way. So there we go, I've already done a clip through the ceiling, we're on to the next part of the level. We will see that happen if oh, we don't actually see that happen because now we do a different skip for the final level, but that is a really nice way to sort of cut out some of the back and forth that would have been there otherwise. This is our first water level. With water, swimming is kind of like Mario, where if you're jumping, you gain a little bit of height, you move left and right. If you're not doing anything, you're falling down. And our goal is to navigate as quickly as possible. Ideally, we make this cycle here. We barely made the water cycle. That's actually really difficult, so I'm very excited that we got it. That big floating box is about 8 seconds, so if you miss the first ride, you lose 8 seconds, have to wait for the next one. Here's our conveyor belt level. The conveyor belts do move at our running speed, so if we move with them, we move twice as fast, which is great. But if they're moving against us, we literally cannot move unless we jump. They exactly cancel out our momentum. Here you can see all these boxes on the screen. This is a little bit of the plot of the story. We are inside a factory in a post-apocalyptic world that is churning out clones of ourselves. Ideally, our goal is to get to the center of the factory and stop the machine. We may not actually stop the machine in this category because, you know, speedrunning, that's okay, don't worry about that. I'm off cycle now, this is fine, we're just gonna keep running at this until it lets me through, this is okay. because now they're on the opposite cycle. It's gonna switch on this one, so I'm fine. There we go. We are gonna do a quick cycle skip here on this level if I can make it happen. So here I'm gonna watch and jump carefully here and jump just before that bottom one changes. A lot of this game is very cycle based. This level, it's very obvious. I do kind of have to wait for the ending here. Again, sorry, our story that I'm gonna come back to is a post-apocalyptic land. We gotta get to the machine, turn it off, stop it from spitting out clones, and then escape. Again, with any percent, you'll see what comes up after that though. Here we're playing our Donkey Kong level. You can see we've got ramps, we've got barrels, we can jump over them. The barrels, like a lot of other things in this game, do move at a running speed, so while we're running down, we just kind of stay with them. It's kind of chill. A little less chill when we're going up the ramp, as you can see, because now they're very much in our way all of the time. We have to jump over so many of them on the way. The good news is, because this is cycle based though, I have a specific route. I'm not necessarily going, oh, there's a barrel, how do I get past it? I'm going, all right, this barrel will meet me at this location, and then this one will meet me at this location, and you can kind of plot your course through the level with that. Here I'm going to take
no
these
hammer
groups.
Power up necessary, just good timing.
Necessary. There are no power-ups in this game, although the developer is working on another game called Mort's Dream Jump or Dream Adventure, and that one does have power-ups, which makes it a very interesting contrast to this one. Here we have this I know, it's cool.
Sorry, I was just gonna say shoutouts to Fred.
Shoutouts to Fred. Here we have this very giant fire bar cycle with all these little trampolines. It doesn't look that complicated to get through, but depending on the angle you're holding when you come off of them, they give you different momentum, so you really do have to plot your course through that section. This level has gates everywhere. You can see the gates will move when I stand on the buttons. My goal with speedrunning is to stand on those buttons for the minimum amount of time possible to open the gate just wide enough for me to sneak through like that. Last button's going to be over here through another small underwater section, but it's a very short one at that. This is my favorite level in the game. It's yellow, it's bouncy. I love both of those things. They're both fantastic. Need to get the key over there. Can death warp to save us some time on backtracking. Again, setting our own checkpoints in this game is fantastic. I jump onto that trampoline. It does give me extra momentum to do so. In this bottom section, we need to get 3 different keys. One of them is sneakily hiding off to the right, but we can just sort of fall down onto it since we know where it is. Last 2 are going to be over here, and then again, we're on a cycle, so I know that this last one is going to pop out right there and I can skip past it. Speaking of cycles, it's the pinball level. The reason this one is a cycle is because if you reach the top section on a very specific cycle, you can actually just, and I didn't quite make it, that's okay, this is fine. You can actually just hold left instead of what I'm going to have to do, which is actually play the video game. Holding left, as it turns out, is very nice, but you'll see why. So these enemies are called ghosts. That is, at this point, canonical enough that we're just going to roll with it. And as you can see, if I'm not on a perfect cycle, I do have to wait every once in a while for them to go past, because they tend to be just obnoxiously in the way. Like that one, just rudely in our way, and that's okay though. We made it through the pinball level. This one, we went up in the last level, time to go all the way back down. There's multiple ways to fall through the level. Obviously, we're going to take the fastest one. So here's our shortcut, just kind of snipping through that little area. Here at the end with these spikes, we do have to jump off the trampoline, circle around in midair to avoid hitting them, and come through to the next level. This level's not the most fun. You see all these boxes, we just kind of have to destroy them. At 100%, this is really awful because you actually have to destroy every single white colored box in order to unlock the secret for this level. It takes forever. There I'm pausing a little bit because there are some boxes above me off screen that you couldn't see, but that I did need to destroy to progress. You can see the remnants of them coming back here. Purple blocks will respawn, white blocks will not. Here I'm gonna have to clear another path, so I'm looking out for 3 on that one. Then I get a small moment to breathe as this one just sort of slowly climbs around. I needed to destroy some blocks above me. Now, as they're being destroyed, I could wait and move the cannon out of the way, or I could just slip through like that. Oh, we have a red hat now. So the hat colors do change every single time you die, or sorry, you get a new hat officially every single time you die, or whenever you switch levels. It's just that it's rare to get a color other than blue. They will show up a couple times throughout the run, but it's always kind of exciting when they do. So we do have a red hat now. We'll see if we can keep that to the end of this level. But we're doing helipods, which I should explain. Helipods have been one of the other runners of this game has described them as Flappy Bird meets grocery store shopping carts. They're incredibly momentum based. Moving up and down involves sort of jumping and holding the jump button. With that momentum, especially vertically, it makes it very difficult for them to fly in a horizontal line. Guess what we're doing? We're attempting to do.
That sounds extremely blurst, and thank you to Heppenwana for that concise and accurate description.
Alright, this taking me more tries than normal, but there we go. This skips an entire level right there. There are 4 sections in that level you're supposed to complete in order to unlock trampolines. We just don't feel like doing any of them. It's fine, we don't need to. We're gonna do something similar with the final level, but again, I will show like the real final level at the end of this run as a thank you for everyone for donating. So this level I like to call the IKEA level. It looks like there's do not enter wet floor signs everywhere, which always feels very industrial, and it's yellow. So again, kind of IKEA feeling to me. Here though, the main thing are just these moving obstacles back and forth. We're gonna wait for this one, and yeah, we're just gonna wait here. There's a cycle at the end that we could have tried to hit, but that would have been really tight, so it's fine. We'll just wait for the next one. It nicely lets us through there. Next level is red.
Now in my head canon, all the obstacles on that last screen are actually just lack bookshelves.
Right? Oh my goodness, IKEA is so much fun. Here this level's very red, which is great because it can be very deadly. It's very bright red too, so it's one of the more shocking level colors in this game. The reason is because at the end of this level, we have triangles on circles. Triangles are a trampoline, circles are deadly. When they overlap, trampolines actually don't give you their momentum right away, so depending on where you hit the trampoline, you can actually kind of fall through it and end up dying on the red circles instead. But we didn't have that happen. We managed to get through it without dying, and we're now on the level where we will use our reset button. So every time we get these keys, parts of the level disappear, unlocking new areas for us. This is important because the newest area is actually going to be back closer to where we started the level. So here I'm going to hit number 4. That's going to reset me all the way back to the beginning, not where I had my checkpoints, and it saves us time over backtracking. You can set a checkpoint and just warp back to it, but this is a much safer strat for marathons, and hey, guess what we're in the middle of right now. Here we go, just gonna finish this off, that's fine. We're gonna do this again, because cycle is slightly off, that's alright. This game's very cycle-based. Oh look, you can see our hat just slowly floating down after us. Sorry, I got distracted by the hat. This next level is going to be our one and only like pseudo auto-scroller. When we hit the buttons, we can speed them up, which is very nice, but otherwise we are going to be waiting, so T-Treat, now's a great time for anything you'd like to jump in with.
Absolutely, be my pleasure. We are here raising money for RIP Medical Debt as part of what is obviously called RIPDebt23 2023. The runs so far have gone great, and so have the donations to RIP Medical Debt, a wonderful charity helping disadvantaged people wipe out medical debt from their ledger, because especially in America, medical debt is just a constant malice. It is treated basically as a business where people will hassle even long expired medical debt to try to collect money off of it, third-party debt collectors. And RIP Medical Debt, the nonprofit organization, works as one of those debt collectors to help buy up that debt, pennies on the dollar, and then forgive it entirely so that people can live their lives free of the scourge of, well, the American healthcare system, but the American billing system, really.
Yeah.
So thank you to everyone for being part of that.
Very excited about that. This is going to be a new trick here coming up. I'm actually going to set a checkpoint and then die and then jump. Right now I do not have an active checkpoint, so if I make a mistake I go back to the beginning, but that resets this platform on the left so we can jump down without having to wait for it. These platforms in this section will start to move down as soon as you land on them, and they'll start to move back up once you're off of them, or they start to move time to move back up once you're off of them. They will not move up while you are standing on them though, which is very important. While they are moving up, they are deadly, so a little dangerous to work out before, but doing that one little trick saves us time by not having to wait for that platform to go up naturally. Whenever you do die on the level, all of the platforms will reset to the top. That brings us to the eyeball unicycle level. No one else calls it that, but like these are eyeball unicycles. It'd be hard to say they're not. So for this one, I mostly just have to stay on top of it. It is triangles on top of circles again, so you know, yay! But thankfully, we got the great cycle, so we got the very first unicycle all the way to the end, which is exactly what we're hoping for. Shout out to Green Hat now, let's go. For this one, helipods explode when they hit things, which is great for us. They do not actually murder us at the same time, so I'm manually death warping every single time I hit one of those walls, but this opens up a shortcut that gives us a second helipod. You can, as you can see, use the trampolines on the left side of the level to make it through, but it is much faster to do in a helipod. It is a little tricky though, so you kind of gotta time this. There's a specific cycle I know to look out for and a time to wait for to make that happen. 1, 2, 3, I do 3 jumps through that water block. We are now in the second to last level. This game flies by, absolutely. This level is all about guillotines, that's its unique mechanic. But again, if you sort of know what to expect, you know what you're aiming for, you can kind of just run through this whole thing. The final
Let's be honest, this game flies by when it's being run by Charbunny.
Thanks. This is a tricky game, but I would highly encourage anyone to check it out who's interested. Here's where we get to do our big skip of the run. I'm going to try this fly this helipod over to a platform on the right. Give me a few tries for this. This is much newer than a lot of the other things I do. Oh, the helipod flies on without you, Lils. There we go. And that's because I'm going to be setting up something specific. So you're going to see me crash into part of this, hold right, and then I'm going to keep dying. I'm going to do this until I hold right and I don't actually stay where I'm focused on the platform. And that's because this is something called helicopter clipping. It will take a few tries, don't worry about it. It's still faster than doing this level normally. There we go, helicopter clip. I'm now inside the wall. Basically, by crashing the helicopter, I'm now navigating out of bounds, by the way. You can see me pop in a little bit. Time will be coming up soon. I'll explain what happened after this. Time will be after I follow the screen on the fade out. The ending music's gonna be messed up. Don't worry, that's not you, that's me. Here we go, time coming up now. There we go. Normally, thank you. Normally when you do this level, you actually hit a button and it cuts out the music. Because of that, we didn't hit the button, the music's still present, and we get both the end credits music and the level music overlapping, and it's chaotic. But there you go. That was Love 3 any percent in just under 12 minutes, I believe, which is not too bad. So
yeah, 11:40 thereabouts.
thank you so much. All right, I did promise a bonus thing though, and I did promise I'd explain how helicopter eclipse would work. So
Could we ask one more thing of you
yes,
first? If you bump out to the main menu, I think we might have used the Ace Pride flag. The
I use
NV
the
Pride
wrong
flag has a
one?
little yellow stripe at the top.
I am so sorry, everyone. Oh my goodness. I apologize. Is this the correct
That's the one.
Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry, everyone who donated. That is 100% my bad. We will use this for our next level, and it's the longest level in the game, so hopefully that helps to make up for it. I apologize. Yep, my
No
bad.
worries.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate the correction as well. So for this next thing, what we're going to do is we're going to jump into level select mode. I'm going to pick time attack mode again because that does actually add some advantages to us. It lets us respawn instantly instead of having to wait for the 3, 2, 1 countdown to do our death warps, and it shows the timer on screen, which is obviously pretty nice. So this is level 25 that we just did, and we did what's called a helicopter clip. What we had to do is run the helicopter. You can actually do one here as well. I'm not very good at, but you run the helicopter into a slanted surface like this at a very specific spot, and then you continue to hold right, and you are actually offset by a fraction of a pixel, which lets you clip into a right side wall and get to the top of the stage. This level is actually much longer than that, and that's not how we do it for 100%. After this was found, the developer, partially by request from the community, patched the game so that if you did not hit the button to stop the machine, you would not get 100%. So for 100%, we actually do this the old way or the traditional way. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I don't know if we have a timer for this. You'll be able to see mine in the top left of the screen, but let's go ahead and 3, 2, 1, go. So for this one, there are 4 sections to this level, similar to level 15, which is the one that we skipped with the helipod. Of course, for this one, we're actually going to go do them now. So the first one is this bottom right. You'll notice I'm not checkpointing. That's because I do want to death warp back out of this. Since these are 4 distinct sections, in general, I'm going to want to death warp out of most of them. Then I'm going to take this helipod up. Here's where we do our second ceiling clip. We still don't do this section normally, no matter what version of the game we're playing, which is great because it's the slowest one. It's where we see the repeat of the auto scroller. One of the things you might notice is in addition to a few new mechanics, we get things like the gears from level 2. All the different mechanics in this game do start to make a comeback. Here, shoutouts to Legend of Zelda. This is the same code that you'd use to get to the Deku Tree, middle, right, left. Again, death warping out, so it's really dangerous to die in that section. You definitely don't want to. We get our new mechanic thwomps here. This is the 4th and final section. You can see just how much of the game we managed to skip with that trick. Here's hitting the button, shutting down the machine. You can see the clone production is stopping over there. This is where the music would have cut out. And from here in any percent, you would actually just, or sorry, 100% now you run up. No, any percent you run up and off to the left, 100% the game explodes and you go off the bottom of the screen. It's great. But there we go. That is the actual route for 100%. I hope that was enough to make up for the fact that we weren't doing the 100% category today. It is a really cool final level. I am still kind of sad that we skip it now for any percent, but it is still part of 100%. And of course, it is still a part of our hearts. Love you, game. All right, that was Love 3, any percent plus a bonus level. Hopefully you enjoyed. I'm looking forward to the rest of the marathon. There are plenty more games to stick around for and watch today. My name has been Charbunny. It's been great seeing you here. And yeah, good luck with the rest of the run. Please keep those donations coming in.
Absolutely. My name is T3. That was Char_Bunny on Twitch. Fantastic runner, fantastic friend. Frame Fatale, just tremendous all the way around. Please give her a follow. And we will be right back with some StarCraft Zerg campaign. Don't go anywhere.